Okay, Jennifer, can you hear me? Um, shall I begin, or you want to say some words?
Yes, please begin.
I begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Welcome you all to the fourth session. Last but not the least, um, as always, setting a motivation that plays a very important role. Both the refuge field, Bodhichitta field, and the purpose of this practice. A refuge field, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, in the space in front of you, so loving, so caring. Bodhichitta field, visualize your two parents on the two sides, all of family members, including your children, and all other dear mother sentient beings living on a side. And here, you are the mother, and all others like your children. And particularly, if you learn how to practice this bodhicitta on the basis of the two methods, a sevenfold cause effect method and the method of the equalizing exchange method to generate bodhicitta, then you could feel that, literally could feel that you're like the mother and all others are like your children, so destitute in great pain, anxiety, anguish, and so forth, and you feeling so much of love, affection, and so forth. Just feel that. And the purpose of what we are doing here, it is to awaken this seed of Buddha nature within us, a seed of perfection. The gold is within us. The Buddhahood is within us, is not to be sought from elsewhere. Like the gold, when mixed with mixed with the soil, ordinary people like us, we don't see the gold there, but the gold experts see the gold there. They remove the dirt, and the gold inside will start to glow. This is exactly what happens when we remove the metal dirt, and the gold inside will glow. The Buddha, the seed of perfection, the Buddha nature becomes manifest. So this is the greatest of the gift that we can think of for yourself and for all other sentient beings, and the best way by which to repay the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So with this in mind, we will read the following, the verses, and as we proceed to read the verses, there are three ways of reading it. Number one, where the words flow without the meanings, without the reflections. And second, words flow and the meaning is reflected. And the third, words flow, meanings reflected, and the experiences invoked. So third one happens to the people who have some degree of study, reflection, meditation in complete form. An extended period of the meditation, these people can have the third experience, that is invoking the experiences. Okay, with that in mind, imagine that you are leading this and all sentient beings are joining you. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination. There is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freedom of aberrations. The, I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subdue us expound a varieties of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukata, protector, to your make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata, the cessational causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-lighted and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space, is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of the beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhichitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, Harsudha mantra. Harsudha mantra. Mantra. Okay, we'll recite the Harsudha mantra 3 times. Deoto Om Gate Gate Para Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Okay, so what we did last time was how to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. And waking up from the sleep of ignorance, this is extremely, extremely precious. Um, Aryadeva, the great Bodhisattva Aryadeva, the direct disciple of Arjuna, and the Bodhisattva Aryadeva, he wrote a classic, a book by the title 400 Verses of the Bodhisattva's Conduct. There, what he indicated is that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching of ultimate reality. Should a doubt ever arise within the individual, that will shatter the samsara into pieces. Samsara meaning your miseries into pieces. So what it says is that in fact, this also what I noticed when we conduct some programs like this, teaching Bodhichitta, teaching wisdom of emptiness, and strangely we see that some people they were so keen to study about emptiness, and then when the actual course, we commence the actual course, then suddenly the person becomes sick, or there's some very urgent thing happening, tragedy happened to the person cannot turn up for the course. These are something so obvious. Otherwise, the person is so enthusiastic, so keen on the study, reflection, meditation, emptiness, but it happens. So this what is very clearly indicated by the Bodhisattva Aryadeva, that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on ultimate reality. Should ever the doubt arise in somebody, will shatter your miseries into pieces. So this, say, inkling, or say the tendency, or the the propensity towards this ultimate reality. How what I'm seeing is not the reality. What I'm seeing, how that doesn't really represent the reality. When you start to question this, that really shatters samsara into pieces, or your miseries into pieces, for the reason that our miseries, they are all grounded. They are all grounded in two ways. Say one is like the say indirect lineage, indirect, say the connection to the ignorance. Say all these miseries, they are triggered by the contaminant karmas, which in turn are triggered by the afflictions, which in turn are triggered by the inappropriate attention, and finally the self-grasping ignorance. And then when we actually go through the process, when we actually go through the miseries, or then the stress, anxiety, and so forth, say the immediate factor for one to feel that is the belief that this dream is real. What we are seeing is the world, which is actually illusion, like an illusion. We see that it's real. That is the cause. Without this, if this feeling, if we're able to cognitively able to rectify our misperception, then we will not really feel the mental agitation, mental stress, mental pain. All will be subsided. Okay, so for that matter, this realization, waking up from the sleep of ignorance, will just cut, would just sever the suffering, sever our miseries into pieces. Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. And from this, the we come to realize that that uh, finally, oh, finally, we see that the okay, so is Saint Saraha's writing of excerpt from Saint Sara's writings. This is a very powerful. This will give us a comprehensive picture. One, the Buddha in Abhidhamma, no, the Buddha in Dhammapad. What the Buddha said is that that all phenomena are the nature of the mind. If with impure mind one acts or speaks, miseries will follow like an ox following the cart following the ox. And then second stanza, the Buddha said, all phenomena are the nature of the mind. The mind, all phenomena are the nature of the mind, and the mind precedes them all. Mind is the chief and precedes them all. If with a pure mind one acts or speaks, happiness will follow like a shadow following the person. So this is where we speak about, if you're being little, so let's say drawn inward meaning to reflect inside as to what is really this happiness, what is this unhappiness. We see that it's all to do with one's own mind, with all this mind. Happiness is also mind, mental state. Unhappiness is also mental state. And what creates the happiness? The compassion, the wisdom, they're also mental state. And what creates this unhappiness? What creates unhappiness? The ignorance and the selfishness. These are also mental states. So finally, the mind, everything is the nature of the mind, and the mind is a chief and precedes them all, precedes all your activity of the mind, say in terms of driven by ignorance, selfishness, driven by wisdom or compassion, that decides whether your state of mind is going to be happy or unhappy. So this is what the Buddha indicated. And this is what is beautifully captured in Saint Sara's writing here. By entering into emptiness, but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme path. Acharya Chandrakirti, in his text, mentioned the two wings of a bird to cross the ocean of samsara. Two wings, one is the wisdom and the other is compassion. So see how all these great teachers, they come to the same point. And let's see what Saint Sara said and what Acharya Chandrakirti said. And then later on, we will combine this to what the Buddha taught. So here, by entering into emptiness, wisdom, you have the wisdom, wing of the wisdom, but you don't have the wing of the compassion. But devoid of the compassion, one will not find the supreme path to Buddhahood, supreme path to infinite happiness. By meditating upon compassion alone, where you have the wing of the compassion, but without the wisdom, lacking the wisdom wing, one will not attain liberation, but remain in samsara. Whereas the one capable of grasping the unity of the two meaning, with both the wings, the wing of wisdom and the wing of compassion, will not remain in samsara because of the wisdom, will not abide in personal nirvana because of compassion. So this is the full story of minor practice, and the practice be embraced by the minor practitioner. So if ever you think of wanting to be a very serious person, to get rid of my suffering, to have the infinite happiness, to get rid of my suffering, you need the wisdom of emptiness. Because all the sufferings, they are rooted to the ignorance. And to sever that ignorance, we need to have the wisdom of the emptiness. And then on the other hand, to have the infinite happiness is the unconditional love, unconditional compassion. So these two are the two wings. So if ever you think of, say, becoming a wise person, to be kind to yourself and to be wise to kind to yourself, we should be able to embrace these two teachings, reflections, and a meditation. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So now the question is, what is this wisdom? One, how will it help us if we get this wisdom to get rid of all the suffering? So yesterday we just give the highlight as to how that is possible. Say being in the dream, being in the dream, whether it's a pleasant dream or unpleasant dream, what cuts across all the dreams is the belief that the dream is real. As long as this belief is there, that the dream is real, then you are being trapped by the dream, whether it's a pleasant dream or unpleasant dream, whether a virtuous dream or non-virtuous dream. You are trapped there. Because of this, when you do virtue, you get joy, happiness. When you do non-virtue, you get unhappiness. So in both cases, you're trapped in the dream. And that is a loss of freedom. So if you really don't want to have the loss of freedom, what should you do? The wisest thing to do, one is that you try to do good things in the dream. Do good things in the dream, and then you will have happiness. This is one way. But how reliable is that? How stable is that? How long-lasting is that? It's not at all long-lasting, because dream, after all the dream, I don't have the freedom. I don't have the choice to decide what dream I will have. So temporarily, I get a feeling that, okay, yeah, I'm doing the virtue voluntarily, but this is just a dream. You're believing that dream virtue as the real virtue. And so therefore, in both cases, the belief that the dream is real, this is the ignorance. And as long as you have this ignorance, you will not be freed. So the loss of freedom is always there. So how to get out of this, the nightmare, and then how also to get out of this dream, of the pleasant dreams, is by waking up. How to wake up? This question. Before we go to this question, I'm sure that many of you have the one question came to you just now. I'm sure. I know the question is the question that most of you, but virtue, does it mean that we have to get into virtue also? Right? In the dream you do virtue and then happiness follows. So it doesn't mean that you have to also discard the virtue. Okay. So this virtue on the yesterday, I'm pretty sure we touched on this part, saying the dream virtue. The dream virtue is, on the one hand, is virtue, giving rise to happiness. At the same time, that is being sullied, that is being defiled by the belief that it is real, the dream is real. So that is contamination. Happiness given rise to by the virtue, and the believing that this virtue or the dream, happiness, is real. This dream is real. This is contamination. So this virtue becomes contaminated virtue. You're getting it? It's a virtue, is far better than the non-virtue, but even that is contaminated. So you have to wake up from the dream of virtues, non-virtues. That virtue that you're talking about is the contaminated virtue. It's not all virtue. You waking up, and then that is the greatest of the virtue. Virtue means, don't think that virtue means to do something good, right? To do something good, which the Buddha advised us to do that, which the God advised us to do. This is not the point. Virtue is, they say, even before the Buddha Shakyamuni appeared on this earth, the virtue existed. The Buddha simply discovered the subtleties of the virtues. Buddha did not invent or dictate the virtues. So the point is, Virtue means a state of mind, active state of mind, which gives rise to happiness. And happiness, there are two: contaminated happiness and uncontaminated happiness. So, the when the cause is contaminated, the happiness that you get is also contaminated. And if you're given a choice, you want to have a very delicious, clean food or a delicious food with the soil mixed in it. Nobody likes to have the delicious food, but soil mixed in it. So you want to have it clean. So the virtue, a clean virtue or uncontaminated virtue. What is that virtue? The greatest, the one which gives you the greatest of the pure happiness. That is the uncontaminated virtue. What is that? When you get the purest of the happiness in the dream, or when you come out, for the sensible people, for the wise people, for when we are not matured, we may think that, oh, in the dream we have a pleasant dream, that's very good, that's better than waking up. But we fail to see the nuances, we fail to see the subtleties of how, say, believing in the dream as real, that itself is misery. We lost our freedom. Okay, with this in mind, waking up, this is the greatest of the peace. You experience the greatest of peace. What gives rise to the greatest of peace? This is greatest of the virtue. That is known as the uncontaminated virtue. So, say you wake up from the dream from the virtuous dream, from the non-virtuous dream. So that virtuous dream refers to the contaminated virtues. When you wake up, you are getting the non-contaminated or uncontaminated virtues. Okay. So so with this in mind, how to wake up from this the dream? This is very important. How to wake up from the dream, where the belief in the dream to be real, that must be severed. The best way by which to do is to wake up. How to wake up? This question. Okay. For that matter, what is important is that before we go any further, given that I can see there are a number of people who are pretty new to the Dharma. I don't know new to Dharma, but to me you are new. So therefore, this clarification is required, that when I speak up to wake up, everything in the dream will dissolve. You're getting it? I say what we are seeing now, all these things will dissolve. Then it may take you to the concept of what is known as nihilism. It's quite the scary probability that one can fall into nihilism. So we have to make sure that this waking up does not connote nihilism in your understanding. So for that matter, what is important is that we have to learn the 3 points. One is that the concept of emptiness, where all these conventionalities that we are seeing around, like all the dreams. Let's say first, let us stick to the example of the dream, and from there we will relate this to the real life. Say the dream, everything, every content of the dream is just your projection of mind, and they have to be dissolved. How? When you wake up, they all dissolve automatically. How many agree with me that when you wake up from the dream, all the contents of the dream dissolve? Raise hands. Okay, very good. Most of you agree with me. And how many of you think that I'm not too sure? When you wake up, all the contents of the dream dissolves. I'm not too sure. Raise hands. Okay, the Raila Haimo Sitting La. Okay, and Mark. Okay, let's say anybody who thinks that when I wake up, all the contents of the dream may not dissolve. What do you think? What examples do you have, or what makes you think that that all the contents may not dissolve? Something is left. Anybody? Anybody? Yes, Raila. Unmute.
Thank you. Because for me, the dream, when I wake up from the sleeping dream, it stays often in my mind and my body, and I process that a lot. And on the other hand, the these symbols and what is in the dream world, it's always when I'm awake, it's also present in my perception. So
Okay, let's say, what I'm saying is that when, okay, I understand what Ryla is saying. Let's say that you have a you had a very disturbing dream. You wake up and your heart is still palpitating, right? Tuk, 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 and you are still sweating and still, okay, the remnants is there. This is not the contents of the dream. These are not the contents of dream. These are the remnants of the effects of the dream. You're getting it? We have to make the distinction. The contents of the dream. When I say the contents, I mean it, right? I'm not, yeah, yeah, say the like, I'm not being poetic. You're getting contents. I mean the contents. So, for example, I see, okay, in my hand, nothing's there. And in my dream, I stretch my hand, nothing's there. Suddenly a flower comes up, right? Wow, there's a flower there. I wake up, this flower disappears. Okay, how many agree with me? That flower, that dream flower disappears. Okay, okay, good. But Siringla, you agree or you don't agree? Siringla, you agree? Okay, good. Which means that we all, this is what I meant, right? So particularly when you study philosophy, when you study psychology, it is best not to be poetic. You're getting it? Not to be poetic, right? Whereas if you give speeches, then you can be poetic, where people, the audience will, they'll flow in your, they'll just admire your talk. But when you study philosophy and psychology, don't be poetic. But the words, they should really mean what they actually refer to. That's very important. So when I say content, it means content, not the effects of the contents. Okay, so the contents all dissolve. Then some of you may get a feeling that, oh, then in which case, say when you realize emptiness, then all what I'm seeing now, they'll all dissolve, right? I'll be very lonely, right? Everything will dissolve. Okay. Okay. So which means that you are turning towards nihilism. You're getting it? If you get a feeling that I'll be lonely, then everything will be dissolved. This is going to be like, this is turning, this way you are taking emptiness to mean nihilism. Whereas emptiness, not nihilism. Before I go through how to wake up, I'd like to make this clarification, 3 points, which is so important. Whenever you come across some teachings on emptiness by any teacher, you read any book, the if ever this thought comes to you that, oh, emptiness like nothingness, if this comes to you, you must bring these three concepts, which I'm going to share with you right now. Why I'm sharing this, that these are something which everybody is on the verge to go through, on the verge to feel that emptiness means nothingness, experientially speaking. In fact, when I was young, I think like 19 or 20, I joined the monastic university, and then one of my teachers in the Hermitage, Genamra Rinpoche, I was just totally new. And then I was very fortunate to be connected with my teacher, Venerable Genamra Rinpoche, in ways of me having to serve him as a translator, to translate for, some of his students. And they mostly on Sundays. Sunday was the only day off that we the students had. And then so I had to rush. Usually appointment was like 8:30, 8:30 or 8:30, I think, 8:30 or 8, I think, 8 or 8:30 in the morning. And then our the monastery, the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, morning prayers start from like 6 through to 7:30. And 8:30 I should reach there. And 7:30 the morning prayers should be finishing. And minimum it takes 1 hour from my monastery to the hermitage. And that too, provided you are very healthy, you are in your 20s, not like what I'm today. I'm today, it may take another half an hour extra. In those days, I was so young, like age 20, 21. And sometimes the prayer gets extended from 1:30, say like from 6 to 7:30, it gets extended 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And after that, our principal, my teacher again, Venerable Geshe Lobsang Gyaltsab Rinpoche, then he will give advice, lengthy advice, will extend another 30 minutes. Wow, so there I was becoming so nervous, so anxiety, so stressed. I have to now rush. My teacher's waiting there with his students. Then finish, I just rush. I just run there. I don't know, sometimes in 20 minutes I reach there. And some of the people, maybe some of the people on the way, particularly young ones, they were just they were amused. What is this monk doing? Walking so fast, running. What is there? Nobody's chasing him. Okay. And then at times, because of this stress and constantly, I was so interested in this concept, how everything's like a dream. On the one hand, how everything's like a dream. This is one part which I was so still interested, was so interested in those days. And on the other hand, I had to rush, right? I had to rush. Then this question comes to me. Okay, I have to rush now. But I also learned that everything's like a dream. Everything's just what my mind projects. If that is the case, why don't I project my mind? Project that I'm already with my teacher and somebody there who is in the hermitage, who wants to go down, who wants to come down to the town to do some groceries. Can you imagine that the person, he or she is already here in the town, we can swap, right? So I do really have to go through all these problems of rushing, gasping for air, and sweating, and breathing heavily when I reach my teacher's place. So these were the thoughts happening. You're getting it? So, in fact, these are all turning towards nihilism. So for that matter, this is what we are all bound to go through. If ever that happens, let us not forget this today. What is today? 31st? Okay, 31st October 2020. Let us not forget this day. And that too, Indian Standard Time, 2 o'clock till like 3:30, right? Let us not forget this time. Okay, so there, I'd like to share with you 3 points to save us from falling into nihilism. If you fall into nihilism, it's a pretty dangerous the chasm where we fall, and it can really badly injure us. Whereas if we understand emptiness as emptiness, not as nihilism, then it can really help us sever all our miseries. That's amazing. So therefore, it's so important for us to know that emptiness does not mean nothingness. So 3 points. What are they? Emptiness, number 1. Emptiness means dependent origination. Number 1. Emptiness means dependent origination. Number 2, dependent origination means the middle way. Number 3, therefore emptiness means the middle way. Let me repeat it. The way in mathematics, we talk about A equals B, then B equals C, then therefore A equals C. This is exactly what we apply to this. Emptiness equals dependent origination, number 1. Number 2, dependent origination equals the middle way. Number 3, therefore emptiness equals the middle way. Okay, so our approach, your approach, my approach, our approach must be analytical and rational. Rational. What I mean by analytical rational here is don't just take for granted. Somebody tells you that, oh, emptiness means dependent origination. If you can mimic this, if you can just mimic it, then you get a point. No, you should be convinced. How can you be convinced? How can you be convinced? The best way by which to be convinced is through analysis. You must get the, you must cognitively get the point. You must get the point cognitively proper, cognitively accurate. For that matter, we have to learn first how emptiness equals dependent origination. This is one of your jobs, one of your tasks. And the second one is how dependent origination equals the middle way. Then the third one is your job, right? So I say A equals B, B equals C. Then your job is to say therefore A equals C. This is your job. Likewise, I'll tell you how, say, emptiness equals dependent origination and how dependent origination equals the middle way. And it is your job to conclude that, therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. The first, emptiness equals dependent origination. For that matter, we need to learn 5 points. 5 points. Okay. In fact, my dear friend Alexei must have heard this 10 times, right? Alex from Russia, raise hand. Okay. Alexei attended all these retreats many times. Okay. So this is so important for us. How emptiness equals dependent origination. 5 points. The first one is emptiness. First one is emptiness. Number two, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number two, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Okay. Sometimes you go to the big cities, I don't know where. In India, I think I saw one, say on a huge building. You see letters there like WHO, right? WHO. Okay. They say, before I was introduced to the concept of work, they say okay, when I was very young meaning age like 6, 7, 8. So there, okay, WHO. This is very interesting. Who are you? WHO. Who are you? Right. So some of us may get a feeling that, oh, this is just inquiring who. WHO. Who are you? No, this doesn't mean who are you. This is a short form of World Health Organization. It's a short form of World Health Organization. Likewise, emptiness doesn't mean emptiness, nothingness. It is a short form of empty. Number two, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence, just as WHO is a short form of World Health Organization. Number three, that nothing exists independently. Everything is empty. Emptiness of independent existence means, number three, nothing exists independently. Right? Emptiness, number one, emptiness. Number two is, it is a short form of emptiness of independent existence, which means, number three, nothing exists independently. Number three. Number four, nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence. Number four, everything exists by dependence. Number five, if everything exists by dependence, everything is dependently originated. These are the 5 points. Number one, emptiness. Number two, emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number three, the emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number four, nothing exists independent means everything exists by dependence. Therefore, number five, everything is dependently originated. So from these from these 5 points, we come to realize that emptiness equals dependent origination. This one, part one done. Now part two. Okay, what is part two? Anybody remembers what is part two? Part one is done. Part two, raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, Arjana ji. Arjun is expert. I know that. Okay.
The
Okay.
second
Dan
part,
cuts. Dan cuts.
Is that's dependent origination equals the middle way?
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Number two is that the dependent origination means the middle way. Dependent origination. How dependent origination means the middle way? Dependent origination has two parts: dependence and origination. Dependent origination has two parts: dependence and origination. Two parts: dependence and origination. First, dependence. When we say dependence, the opposite of dependence is independence. When you say dependence, it rejects independence. And independence and absolutism mean the same. Or this is independent, this is absolute. These two mean the same. So when you say dependent, it rejects the extreme of independence, or it rejects the extreme of absolutism. So by dependence, the first part, dependence, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. And second part is origination. When it's origination, something comes into origination. Something comes into existence. When it says something comes into existence, what's the opposite of existence? Non-existence. When it's origination, it rejects non-existence. Non-existence and nihilism mean the same. So when you say origination, it rejects the nihilism. By dependence, the first part, dependence, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. And second part, origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. Now, combining the two together, dependence and origination together, rejects the two extremes. Rejecting the two extremes is following the middle way. So this is the meaning of dependent origination. Therefore, dependent origination means the middle way. Now, number three is your job. What's number three? Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Gayatri. Unmute. Unmute.
Okay, yeah. So emptiness is the middle way.
Therefore, emptiness is the middle way. Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you. Therefore, emptiness is the middle way. Middle way means it is the one which rejects the two extremes, extreme of nihilism and extreme of absolutism. So emptiness does not connote nihilism, it connotes the middle way. Let us not forget this. This is so important. Okay. With this now, I'll quickly go into the say how to wake up. Okay, just pick up something from your table. Just pick up something from your table, whatever you have. Just pick up something. Okay, most of you pick up flowers, thermos, or okay, so you have something there, right? Mala or whatever. Okay, same. You look at it, and how does it appear to you? Does it appear to you like a dream, or does it appear to you as so real? Just look at it seriously, and tell me. Okay, Engzilim, tell me, what do you see? Engzilim, real or like a dream?
It feels very real to me.
Okay, it feels so real to me, right? Okay, now Engzilim, show me what is that thing which makes you feel real to you?
It's the pen. I'm holding a pen. Yes.
Okay, pen. Let's say, okay, like this, a pen, right? Okay. Okay, let's say this flower, right? Okay, let's say this flower is so real. I feel it's so real to me, this flower. Okay, what is my left hand or what is my right hand? Anybody? What is my right hand? Okay, the Subhashini ji?
No flower.
Okay, no flower.
No flower.
No flower. Okay. Okay, no flower. So in my right hand, there's a flower, red flower. In my left hand, there's a red flower. In my right hand, there's no flower. Okay, just imagine a blue flower. Imagine a blue tulip flower, right? Okay, now what is in my right hand? Very quick, somebody. Mark? Mark, what is in my the left hand? Huh?
In your left hand is a red flower.
Red flower. Okay, the Josephine, what is my left hand? My right hand.
I cannot see anything.
Oh, I told you imagine a blue
Oh, imagine.
tulip flower.
Yours, also, what did I see? I didn't see anything, but I imagine the blue flower, yes.
Yes. So what is in my right hand?
Red flower.
Josephine? Huh?
Red flower.
No, this is left hand. Right hand.
Blue flower.
There's no blue flower. There's imaginary blue flower.
You see what I saw or what I imagined?
No, I told you what is in my red flower. You said the blue flower. There's no blue flower. There's an imaginary blue flower. You're getting it?
Imaginary blue flower, yes.
There's an imaginary blue flower. Okay. I want somebody to distinguish between these two things. What are the demarcating lines? What are the distinctive features? Or what distinguishes the two? What is that thing which is different in these two? Very quick. There are many things. It's not just one thing which is different. There are many things which are different between these two things. The red flower in my left hand and the imaginary blue flower in my left hand, right hand. Siringla? Siringla? Unmute.
Geshe, one on the right hand with the red flower is a real object, and the one with the imaginary blue flower is represent your dream.
Okay, so one is real and the other one is just imagination. It's like a dream. Okay, anybody else? Anybody? I want to save some time. Den cuts.
If somebody joined the group now, they would just see the red flower.
Yes. And then what about the imaginary blue flower?
No, they just joined it. They've not told you haven't told them about the blue flower.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Oh,
I'm not asking outsiders.
Oh, okay, right. So it's a bad point. I'll shut up.
Okay, the Smitaji, what is the difference? There are many differences.
The imaginary flower is coming from our mind only.
Okay, so this red flower is really there from the object, and the imaginary flower is not from the object, it's just coming from the subject, from my mind. Very good. The Raila?
For the red flower, you need the sensory consciousness. Blue flower, you don't.
Okay, to perceive the red flower, you need a sensory consciousness. To perceive the imaginary blue flower, you need the mental consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay, anybody else who likes to add something? Anybody else? If not, I will go further. Anybody? Okay, Tang. Tang, unmute. Tang, unmute. Tang, unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Well, the red flower has a physical appearance. It has shape, it has color. So it has a physical appearance, why the blue flower has no physical appearance.
Very good. One is the physical appearance and the other does not have physical appearance. Very good. Susanna? Susanna?
The red flower has substance.
Yes.
And the imaginary doesn't have any.
Okay, the red flower has a substance there, and the imaginary blue flower doesn't have a substance there. It's just purely imagination. Very good. Mark? Mark Bushari. Bukhari, Bushari.
Bukhari, yes. One
Bukhari.
is one is red and one is blue.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, are you really seeing a blue flower? Is really blue?
I'm imagining a blue flower, but I
Okay,
think
it's not
the
blue.
imagination of blue.
It's not blue. It's an imaginary blueness. It is imaginary blue, right? Very good. Okay, so why I'm asking these questions is that particularly with the study of emptiness, the participants is not like listening to a story. If it's a story, participants can be very passive. You can just enjoy. Whereas for the emptiness, if the participants remain inactive, passive, you will get nothing, right? I will learn a lot, but you will get nothing. So you should be very active. So therefore, I'm deliberately asking questions to keep you awake. I'm so happy that you're awake. Yeah, I'm so happy. Okay, now with this, they say this red flower is what, in a loose sense, we say that somebody said is something there, which my sense consciousness can perceive, which has a substance there, outside there as an object. Whereas the imaginary blue flower does not have a substance there. It cannot be seen by my sense consciousness, only by my mental consciousness. And it is just purely coming from the mind. It's a subjective. In other words, in the loose sense, this red flower exists objectively and the imaginary blue flower exists subjectively. How many of you agree with me now thus far? Raise hands. Very quick. Okay, very good. Very good. If you agree with me with this, that the red flower exists in a loose sense, I'm qualifying this that in a loose sense, that this red flower exists objectively and the imaginary blue flower exists subjectively. Okay, my question to you. Dream exists objectively or subjectively? Raise hands. Very quick, very quick. Somebody. Okay, Jennifer.
Dream is subjective.
Dream is subjective. Very good. Mirage. 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 Anybody? Very quick, very quick. Okay, Kim Lui. Mirage.
It's also subjective. No. Let me think. Mirage, is it?
Yes.
Okay, mirage you actually can see, so it's objective. But even
Okay,
though it's not
mirage.
there.
Okay, mirage is subjective. Okay, anybody else? Mirage? Anybody else? Mirage, subjective, objective? Raise hands. Or Venerable Kumphenla. Mirage, objective, subjective.
Objective for Geshe.
Okay, objective. Okay. Then Tundubla. Ray Tundub.
It's subjective, but dependently originated.
Okay, it's subjective. Okay.
Objective, but dependently originated.
Okay, it is objective, dependent originated. Very good. Okay, let's say the rainbow. Rainbow exists objectively, subjectively. Anybody raise hands very quickly? Anybody? 10? 10? Unmute.
Objectively.
Okay, the rainbow exists objectively. Okay, how many of you agree with 10? That rainbow exists objectively? Raise hands. How many say that no, rainbow exists subjectively? Raise hands. Okay, it's like half, right? So before we go any further, we have to debate amongst these two groups. Okay, rainbow, let's say that you are seeing a rainbow 1 kilometer away from you, and you have a small child with you, 4 years old child with you, and child tells you that both of you see the rainbow, and child tells you that, oh, please take me there. And those of you who said that it exists objectively, you will take the child there, right? You will take the child there. If you take the child there, you are also a small child. You're getting it? Whereas those who know that it's subjective, they will not take the child there, because the closer you go to the object, the rainbow disappears. Rainbow is just the complex phenomena which comes into existence by dependence on multiple factors. Where you go to the object, the rainbow, you will not find rainbow as localized there in the object. You're getting it? Now the mirage. Let's say the mirage. Say some, okay, how many of you say mirage is subjective? Raise hands. Subjective. Okay, how many of you say mirage is objective? Okay, so the same question arises. Mirage, if it is objective, objective means something coming from the object, right? Not from the subject. If something comes from the subject, it cannot be from the object. If it comes from the object, it cannot be from the subject. How many of you agree with me with this? Okay, I'm not deciding whether it's subject or objective. What I'm saying is, if something exists objectively, it cannot come from the subject. If it exists subjectively, it cannot come from the object. How many agree with me with these two statements? Raise hands. Very good, most of you. Okay, how many of you are not too sure, or not agree, or not too sure? Raise hands. Okay, Elroy, Raila, Haimo. Raila from Finland, right? Finland requires a separate instruction. Always disagree. I'm joking. Okay, Finland, they are very brilliant people there, I know. Raila is also very brilliant. Okay. Now the point is, with the mirage, let us listen to this. This is a very important point, which the incredibly great teacher, Nagarjuna, the 1st century AD great teacher, he said it. And later on, after your exposure to the study of emptiness, of course, not like 1 hour teaching, should be like several years of studies, extensive studies, reflection, and meditation. From there, then you read some of his passages. One line will be say the mind-blowing experience, mesmerizing experience for you. One stanza, one line of Nagarjuna. You can see that the depth of his insight into emptiness. Okay, what is that? Is that if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage? Say mirage is here and you are here. Say if you see me in water, you are 1 kilometer away from me, and you see that, oh, he's in water, Dorji is in the water. Then you want to double check. I'm not sure. In one of his talks, he said that he doesn't know how to swim, right? So how can he float in the water? I'm just wondering whether what I'm seeing is water or mirage. So how would you evaluate what you are seeing, whether what you're seeing is water or mirage? How would you evaluate that? Anybody, very quick. Anybody?
Go close.
Go close. Go close towards the location from where the object appears as water. Whether the water is appearing as water or the mirage is appearing as water, just go closer to this object. Going closer to this object, you see that it's totally dry. What you will conclude? You will conclude that what you earlier perceived as water was deceptive. It was a mirage. You're getting it? What you earlier saw as the water was not objective, but purely subjective. What is purely subjective, which you earlier saw as water, that is known as mirage. Okay, so Nagarjuna put it so beautifully that if the mirage, what are you seeing? The mirage were to be water, the way you see is a water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Close by the mirage, they don't see water there. Okay, this is so important. From this, what we're learning is that this is going to be a very different question. How many of you know the meaning of appearance? Anybody? how many of you know the meaning of appearance? What does it mean by appearance? Or can you give me some examples that appearance do not tally with the reality, right? This is the appearance, this is reality. And sometimes appearance and reality can tally. Sometimes appearance and reality may not tally. So appearance means this. Anybody who can give us a meaning of what appearance is. Okay, let's all listen to this. This is a very important point. If we all understand what appearance is, if we're able to articulate as to what the appearance means, then we can direct ourselves to the emptiness. Okay, raise hands. Raise hands. I'd like to see how many hands are there. How the Elroy, Ritundo, anybody else? Okay, others, you don't know what appearance is? That's strange. Vivian, you don't know appearance? Vivian? Yes, of course you know what appearance is. Raise hands. Okay. Ralia, Smita, Mark. Okay, how many of you know? Okay, that is my wrong question. Actually, everybody should be, most of you should be knowing what appearance is, but my question should be the other way around. How many of you don't know what appearance is? Raise hands. How many of you don't know what appearance is? Okay, the other side. Okay, so what about those people who did not raise hands? You know or you do not know? Okay, raise your hands, those who did not raise your hands. Raise hands, those who did not. So what is your answer? Really? What are you doing, really? Raila, what are you doing? You raise your hands everywhere. Right? Raila. Okay, so the Engzi Lim, tell me, what's your standpoint? You understand, you know what appearance, or you don't know what appearance is?
I would say not too sure.
Okay, not too sure.
Yeah, not too sure how to define appearance.
Okay. How many of you said, I don't know what appearance is? Which means that either you know or you're not too sure, right? Those who are those of you who know, those who you think you know, let us listen to the perspective of others as to what appearance is. And those who said, I'm not too sure, listen even more carefully to them to understand what it means by appearance. Okay, let's begin with somebody. Raise hands. Somebody who likes to share with us what appearance is. Okay, Charu. Okay, Charu, unmute.
You often find this in people, you know, that they appear to be something and they are not. Like somebody might.
Okay, yes. So say somebody appears as something, but they're not. The reality is different.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, Nima. Okay, let us all listen to these inputs. This will greatly help us to articulate, to crystallize our concepts. Particularly for emptiness, this is not an easy thing. Emptiness is not like, say somebody gives you like this. You're getting it? Your mind must acquire that skill to grab what emptiness is. So therefore, this mind must be extremely sharp and agile and be able to see through the nuances. Okay, Nima?
As I see it, Geshe-la.
Oh, as I see it. Okay, that's a little philosophical. I don't get it. Okay, what does it mean by appearance? Appear means as I see it, the way it appears to me. Oh, yes, I agree with you. Yes. Mark Bukhari.
An object of the mind.
Okay, object of the mind. It doesn't matter what is really there from the object, right? What comes to your mind, that is the meaning of the appearance. Yeah, beautifully put. Very good. Anybody else? Chandra Khannaji.
The example of seeing a rope and mistaking it for a snake.
Perfect.
It can only but it can only happen if we have previously perceived a snake. If I have no concept of a snake, I've never seen a snake, then I will see the rope as a rope with a different form, but never as a snake, because I haven't had a previous experience. So I'm looking at you, I'm getting all the impressions, I'm hearing things, but they're mixing with what's already there. The thing's already there in my mind.
So the idea. So what does it mean by appearance? I'm not asking you how the appearance is created. You're getting it? You are explaining how the appearance is created. So without your exposure to object A, you cannot have the misperception of B as A.
Correct.
This is what you're saying?
Highly subjective.
This is about how the appearance is created. So my question is, what does it mean by appearance? Once we get it, then the second question may be that how is that created? Okay, so what Chandraji is saying is that, let's say in reality there's a rope there, and then you see as a snake. So what you see as a snake is not really there on the object. So that is this appearance there as a snake. It's a pure appearance. It's not really there. You're getting it? Okay, how many are getting this? How many you get what Chandraji is saying? Raise hands. Okay, how many do not get it? How many do not get it? Okay, most of us get it. Let me repeat this. We have just a few minutes more. So let me repeat what the Chandraji said, which is so important. What is appearance, right? How would you distinguish between the appearance and the reality? Say in reality, there's a snake there. No, sorry, a rope there. And in the dusk, when the night falls, and then your eyes are a little hazy, you are partly sleepy, you come out of your bed, and then you go there. It happened to me once. It happened to me once in my monastery, in my second monastery, in Damdul monastery. It was early morning, I think about like 4 a.m. I was going to the restroom, and the restroom was outside from the hostel. And I was just partly in my sleep partly in my sleep, and then walking. And suddenly, what I was from the legs, there's something like this, something like from the legs, from like this happened. Then suddenly, I became so attentive. I came to realize that around this place there was a snake. Yeah, and then I jumped. I became fully awakened, right? I jumped, and the snake just passed by, left. Luckily, I was not bitten. Yeah, so the same. I saw that like a rope, not the rope as a snake, but a snake as a rope. You're getting it? So what was really there was a snake, and I took that as a rope, and then I just walked by, and then it just held around my legs, and then I realized it was a snake. Okay, so there there was a snake, but I saw that as a rope. So that object appears as a rope to me, right? When you analyze from where it appeared, there's no rope there. There's no rope there. It was a snake. But what appeared to me was the mere appearance of a snake. It just appeared without telling with what is there. What was there was a snake. What it appears was a rope. There was a mere appearance. You're getting it? Mere appearance means appearance which does not tally with the reality. How many you understand it? Raise hands. How many got it? Very good, you got it. Okay, now let's go back to the main point. That the mere appearance has a connotation. Okay, appearance, the mere appearance. But with this word, the mere appearance, is it objective or subjective? Raise hands. Anybody who would like to give an answer? Okay, Tundo.
It's objective. It's a trick of the mind and the eyes.
No, this is not my question. My question is the mere appearance. Appearance is on the object or coming from the
sorry. Sorry,
this
it's coming from the subject. Sorry. Yeah,
it's
that's
subjective. You're getting it?
Yeah.
Appearance. When I say appearance, and particularly if you qualify that with the word mere appearance means it's a pure subjective. You're getting it? Okay. This is so important. So with this, today,
Can I ask something?
Yes, Mark.
So does it matter if it is tallying with the object or not, whether it's objective or subjective?
Okay. So the point is, what I'm saying here is that first I'm introducing to you what is known as subjective. As long as we, how many of you now got fairly a good understanding of, okay, subjective versus objective? How many of you understood it? Raise hands. Very good. If you understood this, this is a purpose. You're getting it? Now, I ask you, what is this? The flower. Does it exist objective or subjective? You can still say objective. No problem. You're getting it? But you understand that there are two options. Something can be objective, like this flower, or the dream, subjective. Or there's the robe, the way Chandraji said, the robe, the reality, this robe there, that is objective. And what I see is a snake, that is subjective. As long as you understand this much, thus far, we are doing well. How many of you got it to this point? Raise hands. Very good. Okay, if you get it, then the next point is that not only seeing the robe as a snake, seeing the robe as a snake, this purely subjective. Mirage is subjective. The dream is subjective. Even the rainbow is also subjective, right? Not only these are subjective, everything is subjective. This is now a very, very broad the generalization that the Buddha is making. Everything is subjective. You're getting it? Okay. So for that, you can ask, you can come up with any questions. For the time being, what is important is that how we see one thing as objective, like this flower. Take something which is very simple, like a flower, how this is subjective. If you know this, then all the other questions that may come to you, you can ask these questions separately. Find you must have something to hold on to grab and to see that, okay, what I'm seeing is objective. This flower is objectively real, but this is deceptive. It is subjectively real. If you understand this much, then you have something to hold on to. And this is your takeaway. Once you have something as a takeaway, and you can expand on it to give answers to the other questions. You're getting it? Okay. With this in mind, so the Buddha said everything is of the nature of emptiness. So what we read before we started this prayer, started this teaching, the four seals of the Buddha's teachings, all composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Everything is of the nature emptiness, selflessness, meaning that everything is like a dream. Everything is subjective. Everything is empty of objectivity, which means everything is subjective. Okay, so let us see how this flower, or let us see how the self, maybe easier would be with the flower, and then we can extend it to self if we get a little time. First, the flower. How does this flower exist subjectively? This is so important. Once you get a little clue as to how what we see as objective, that is subjective. If you get a little clue to that, don't forget it. That is so precious in your life. That is so precious in your life. And then on that basis, you can employ this to the self. You're getting it? To the self. Let's say some people who commit suicide. Why do they commit suicide? They cannot bear, the pain is so overwhelming. They cannot bear it. Because they cannot bear this pain, they think this pain will disappear if this I who is experiencing the pain will disappear. You're getting it? So what do we see as objective? So the way this person feels, who commits suicide, if what they seen as object, the fear, anxiety, and so forth, which is seen as so objective, so real, when come to see that it's not really from the object, it's from the subject, right? It disappears, right? Then the basis of your fear dissolves. This is so precious. You're getting it? Okay. So for that matter, we need lots and lots of examples, lots and lots of studies. One example that I like to take you to is how many of us have watched movie in a movie theater, big movie theater? Raise hands. Okay, good. Okay, good. And okay, by the way, this is a wrong question. My correct question is, how many of you have never watched a movie in a movie theater, big movie theater? Raise hands. Okay, other side. Okay, no one. Then that's good. Otherwise, so this example which I'm giving to you now will become obsolete, I think, after like 20 years. Today is a very good example. You are lucky. I'm lucky. After 20 years, this will become obsolete. Why? Because even in the big movie theaters, the system of the movie projection will change, right? So at the moment, say you are watching a movie here, where's the movie coming from? Anybody? Where's the movie coming from? Okay, the Engzilim. Where's the movie coming from?
From the back.
Oh, from the projector, which is behind you. From behind you. Say you are here. Say the screen is here, and you are watching the movie here, and the projector is behind you. You agree? This holds true now. May not hold true after 20 years. After 20 years, everything will become like a television, right? Even the big screen, they'll become like a television. Nothing, you don't need the something coming from the projector. Okay. This, I'm pretty sure, it may not even we don't have to wait for 10, 20 years. Within like 10 years, it can happen. At the moment, this movie that you're watching here on the screen is coming from the projector behind you. Okay, where is the movie? The movie is on the screen. Where is the movie coming from? Not from the screen, it's coming from the projector. You're getting it? The movie is on the screen, but not from the screen. It is from the projector. Let's not forget it. So object and objective, subject and subjective. So the movie is an object, but it's not objective. It's subjective. It's coming from, subjective means coming from where? Coming from the subject. Coming from the subject is known as subjective. Coming from the object is known as objective. The movie is the object, it is not objective. You're getting it? The movie is the object, but it's not objective. So the object exists as an object, it does not exist as objective. It exists subjectively. You're getting it? Okay. So with this, the best of the projector in this universe is your mind. The standard movie projectors, they can project the movie for like a minute, maximum like 4 hours. In India, like 3 hours. In the West, it's like 1.5 hours. And then if you continue to push this projector to project the movies, it may run for the next like another extra 1 hour, like 4 hours or 5 hours. And then it'll become hot and stop. Whereas your movie projector, it never stops. Your mind is exactly the projector. Whatever we are seeing is like 360-degree projector. You're getting it? The movie projector that we have is not 360 degrees. It's like what? 30 degrees projector. Whereas your mind is a 360 degrees projector, right? Simultaneously, you can think of all. What is front, what is behind you, what is behind you, what on the sides, front. You can see, you can think of all this together. That is like a 360 degrees projector. And this projector works 24/7. It never stops. Even if you force yourself to stop it, it doesn't stop. You're getting it? It doesn't stop. Every moment, how the movie projector works, right? So every second it looks. If it stops for 1 minute, the movie is stopped. Likewise, if a mind really stops projecting, right, then the conventionalities will dissolve. All the movies of the projector, whatever we are seeing around, they're like watching a movie. So this will instantly stop if your mind stops projecting. When we die, when we go to faint, our mind is still projecting. It's still projecting. You're getting it? It's still projecting. So when does it stop projecting it? When you stop the dream. When you stop the dream, wake up from the sleep of ignorance. It's for this reason that the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one, where the person stops projecting all these things. All the miseries dissolve. Okay, So the next question is how to stop this projection. How to stop this projection, and what is this waking up? How to wake up from the sleep of ignorance? Stop the dream. Stop the projection. How to stop the projection? Okay. So for this, we will quickly go through what is. I'm just quickly going to give you what is known as the 4 essentials. 4 essentials. Okay, for the reasoning of the 4 essentials. And this concept of the projection and stopping the projection and emptiness, it is purely rational. You're getting it? It does not involve anything of the blind faith. You don't really have to have any faith in any religion. You just do it mechanically, you'll get it. And if you get it, you're very lucky that your miseries will come to an end. You're getting it? Okay. So the reasoning of the 4 essentials to establish emptiness. What are the 4 essentials? Number one, the essential of identifying the object of negation. The essential of identifying the object of negation. I'm just going to enumerate what these 4 are, and we'll try to give a gist of this. And then if you are, of course, if you really don't want suffering, then you have to study this more detail. How many don't want suffering? Raise hands. Are you serious? Huh? If you are serious, we have to study this 4. You're getting it? Although we cannot complete it here, but you have to study these 4. Right? If you're in Singapore, study from the Geshe there in Singapore, TBC is there, ABC is there. And then if you are where? If you're in Finland, then you have the Finland Geshe there. Geshe at the Tapo Jambala is coming from Russia. And then if you are, so wherever you are, you have your own great the Geshes, Kembos, you learn from these teachers. Okay, that's one thing. So the first one is identifying the essential of identifying the object of negation. Number 2 is essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Number 3, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being different from its parts. Number 4, the essential, if you could not finish number 2, number 3, don't worry, write number 4. Then I'll repeat it. Number 4, essential of understanding the pervasion. Essential of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty or being one with or different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, let me repeat this. Number 4, essential of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty of being one with or different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty of being one with and different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, now let me repeat all the 4. The essential of understanding the essential of identifying the object of negation. Essential of identifying the object of negation. Number 2, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Number 3, essential of understanding the emptiness of the object being different from its parts. Number 4, essential of understanding the pervasion, that anything which is empty of being one with and different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, you got it? Good. Now let us quickly go into this. First, let's go with the self. Let's go to the self. Same that, okay, I'm boy. I'm a girl. I'm kind. I'm not kind. I'm short-tempered. I'm intelligent. I'm not intelligent. Okay, I can focus my mind. I can still my mind. No, my mind is so restless. Right? All these things, how you describe yourself, they're all related to your body or to your mind. How many agree with me? How many agree with me? Raise hands. Very good. Okay. So all these empirical realities, I'm talking about empirical descriptions of yourself, they're all related to the empirical body and the empirical mind. Empirical meaning something which we can experience, not just believing in, right? Keeping aside all what we have to believe in, keeping aside all these things, just we talk about the empirical reality. Then you will get the emptiness. If you don't get to the empirical reality, then we will never get emptiness. And if you don't get emptiness, and then we are constantly going to be in the trap of the illusion, of the dream. You will never wake up from the dream. Okay, so but there's the empirical reality, the body and the mind. So with the body, what we see is that I have the solid part, like the bones, the flesh, and then the heart, lungs, all these solid parts. These solid parts constitute what is known as the element of earth, element earth, water, fire, air. Solid parts constitute element of earth. Then what we have is the blood, 4 liters of blood being pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. So this constitutes element of water. And then the air, the body heat that we have, like 1,200 joules of energy, the body heat. This constitutes the element of fire. And then the air that we breathe in and out, like 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through our lungs, they constitute the element of air. And then the 99.9% of our body is just hollow. Just hollow. This constitutes the element of space. And finally, the thinking agent that we have. Yes, oh, I'm happy, I'm not happy. Okay, I'm a little restless today. So all these things are the cognitive and the thought processes or the aggregate of consciousness. That's it. So what we are made of, we are made of these 6 elements. Just as this flower is made of, let's say, this flower, let's say, let's say, this flower is a real flower. This real flower, this is made of cells, trillions of cells. This flower is made of trillions of cells. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Very good. And each cell is made of the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, and so forth. And the nucleus is made of chromosomes. And the chromosomes are made of DNA molecules, and the molecules are made of atoms. And we can keep going like this. We can keep deconstructing them, but we can stop there at the level of the atoms. In other words, what is this? What is this flower? We see that it's just trillions of atoms there, a pool of atoms. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Okay, that's very important. And now the digital world is so convenient for us. If you're really keen to know about emptiness like this, what I'm talking about now, earlier in those days, you have to purely go through imagination. And now we have all these facilities. You just Google search the power of 10, just press power of 10, powers of 10. And all these things will come out. How this flower is made of, say the cells, then the chromosomes, the atoms, all this will come out. How? You can visually see them. Okay, with this in mind, us, what I call as the person, a male, female, or say the unkind person, kind person, unintelligible person, intelligible person, calm person, agitated person, whatever. So this person is nothing but composed of these 6 elements. These 6 elements. Okay. Now, if you're very serious with this, that I'm fed up with I'm fed up with the suffering. I really want to get out of suffering. If this says who you are, we must learn how to meditate. We must learn how to do this meditation. So there, what we do is that okay. How many of you have, let's say that do you agree with me that if you are in the coastal area, the coast or the beach, you see the beautiful water waves, very beautiful water waves. And then from the aeroplane, if you look down, the same wave that you see, those sitting on the beach, who can see as a beautiful wave, from the aeroplane, you can see them just as a white line. How many of you agree with me? Raise hands. Very good. Okay, right? If you've never seen a wave close by, you think that, oh, what is that white line? Just white line is there. It's not at all beautiful, right? Whereas if you're close by, you are there in the beach or on the beach there, then you will see these are not white lines. These are beautiful waves, right? One after the other is so beautiful. So say the perception is very different. Likewise, we look at it, you see this as a flower, a beautiful flower, a beautiful flower. Whereas you go deeper into it, then you see that it's just chromosomes. Or say the DNA molecules, or the molecules. And the chromosomes, they are not as beautiful as how we see this flower. The chromosomes are not as beautiful. Chromosomes are, in fact, a little bit, say, there's a look of repulsion. They are like the snakes, the striped brownish snakes. You look at it, it's quite, it gives you a feeling of a little bit of the uneasiness in you. Whereas when you see this as a flower, it's very appealing. When you see this as a chromosome, it's very unappealing. And then you go deeper, even this, what appears unappealing as a chromosome, like the snake-like figure, even that is like illusion. You go deeper, you see just atoms, and atoms are not attractive. They are not unattractive as well. They're neutral. So the same object can give rise to three different emotions. On the surface, it gives the emotion of the joy, appeal, a beautiful flower. Then you go deeper, the chromosomes is very repulsive. Aversion arises. Same object. And you go deeper, you see atoms is neutral. It's not attractive, not unattractive, no attachment, no aversion. It's just neutral. Same object has a capacity to give rise to these three different emotional states. And this is a fact. You're getting it? Okay. So with this in mind, let's say that the boys and girls, we split this group into two, the boys and girls. Let's say the boys look at this. Okay, usually the boys, they don't really like flowers, right? Mark, you like flowers? Mark, you like
Sure,
flowers?
why not? Yeah, why not?
Okay, why not, right? It's fine, why not? Okay, Ray? So? Okay, Alex? There are two Alex. Huh? Alexi? No. Okay, no. Then Alexander? Yes. Okay, the Mrinalini? Huh? Mrinalini say yes. Okay, Melijelu? Melijelu, unmute.
I like flowers when they're outside, particularly.
Oh, okay. Jacob?
I like flowers. Sometimes the scent is a little not pleasant for me.
Okay, thank you. Haimo? Haimo,
I
unmute.
like flowers, especially outside.
Oh, that's
also.
interesting. Okay, Chandra? Chandra,
Yeah, of course.
You like?
Yes, that's it. Of course.
Wonderful, amazing. Peter? Peter, unmute.
Of course, I like flowers. Outside,
Okay.
inside.
But
If I
that's
get
very
them,
positive.
present.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, of course. Tang? Tang, unmute. Tang?
Yes, I like flowers, especially when it's freshly cut from the garden.
Okay, the fresh ones. Elroy?
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah, I like
Okay.
flowers.
Graham?
Yeah, sure. I like flowers.
Okay, very positive. Thank you. Okay. I say, okay, the boys, how many of you like to have flowers or flower designs on your clothes? Pink flowers on your clothes? Pink flowers on your clothes. Okay, Tundula. Okay. So what I'm saying is that let's say the boys and girls, let's say the girls look at it with your naked eyes and you see this as a flower. And the boys, you look at it through electron microscope, you see just a bunch of atoms. Can you imagine that, boys? That you are looking at it through electron microscope. And nowadays you don't have to imagine. You can go through Google, you just Google search it, powers of 10, and you get all these things. You must do that, right? Okay, so boys look at it through electron microscope. You say there's no flower there, it's just a bunch of very boring atoms. And the girls, you look at it through a naked eyes, you see a beautiful flower. You liked it. Okay, let's say this one. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? It's beautiful flower, bunch of flowers. Now, say my question to you. At the girls, what is this? The flowers, raise your hands. You agree, the girls? This flowers, yes. The boys, what is this? Bunch of atoms? Yes, boys, raise your hands. This bunch of atoms, imagine that you are looking at through electron microscope. This is just bunch of atoms, raise your hands. Good. Which means that here, there's no flower, it's just bunch of atoms. No flower, raise your hands. Boys, very good. Okay, now girls look at it. This, what is this? Flower. Boys look at this is no flower. Bunch of atoms, no flower. Okay, so the girls, now my question to you, who's correct? The girls are looking at this through the naked eyes. The girls are looking at this through your naked eyes. You see that this flower. The boys are looking at through electron microscope. You see just bunch of atoms, no flower. Who is correct? Both are correct. You agree with me or not? Very good. You agree with me, right? You agree that both are correct. Both are correct. But then these two are very different. One gives you appeal. One does not give you appeal because appearance is different. One, there's appearance of flower. One said appearance of no flower. You getting it? So this mind, there are two different minds. One is looking at through naked eyes. One is looking through the electron microscope. You're getting it? So one which is looking at which is your naked eyes to get the flower. That is what we call as the conventional analysis. The one which makes you to see this as a flower, this is known as conventional analysis. And one which makes you not to see this as a flower, this is known as ultimate analysis. So the mind, the perceptions are different. There are two different perceptions. One perception known as the conventional analysis, which the girls have now, and one which sees just atoms, no flower, that is known as ultimate analysis. You're getting it? So conventional analysis and ultimate. What the object is, it is determined by how you look at it. If you employ the conventional analysis, you will see this as flower. If you employ the ultimate analysis, you will see this as some emptiness of the flower, no flower. You're getting it? Emptiness of flower. Now, okay, Mark, I know you have questions. We'll hold it for some time. Okay. Now, let's say that your mind look at it to see this as a flower. That mind is known as conventional analysis. You're getting it? The mind you look at it, which makes you not to see this as a flower, see this not as a flower, is known as ultimate analysis. You're getting it? So this ultimate analysis, which mind comes closer to the object? Ultimate analysis or the conventional analysis? Raise your hands very quick. Very quick, very quick. Okay, Gayatri.
Ultimate analysis.
Very good. Elroy.
Yeah. Ultimate analysis.
Very good. Nima.
Ultimate analysis.
Very
Geshe-la.
good. So the ultimate analysis is the one which is closer to the object, and conventional analysis is one which is distance from the object. Just as you distance from the object, you are into the subjective. As you go closer to the object, you are looking for the objective. So as you go closer, object disappears. So objectively, there's no object. As you go distance, then you see the flower. Through conventional analysis, you see the flower. So therefore, the flower is subjective. You're getting it? Likewise, the self. Likewise, the person. Likewise, the person. Okay, let us go closer to the object. Now, even for the person, same person can be seen in two ways. One is ultimate analysis, how it appears to the ultimate analysis. One, how it appears to the conventional analysis. There are two analyses. Okay, so when you look at the flower through conventional analysis, what do you see? You see a flower. You agree? Raise hands. Very good. When you employ the ultimate analysis, what do you see? You see the flowers empty. Emptiness of flower. Raise hands. Very good. Okay. Heart Sutra. Oh. Okay. So okay, let us see this Heart Sutra. These four lines are the essence of the Heart Sutra. And in the first place, Heart Sutra is the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. And within this Heart Sutra, these four lines are the essence of the essences. Okay, the first one says, form is empty. Okay, look, what the girls see as physical form, as a flower, is what the boys see as empty of flower. Form, what the girls see as form, is what the boys see as empty. You're getting it? That is the meaning of form is empty. In other words, what the conventional analysis sees as a flower or a form is what the ultimate analysis sees as an empty of form. Second line, emptiness is form. What the ultimate analysis sees as an emptiness is what the conventional analysis sees as a form. Emptiness is form. Now, so there are two things. One is emptiness, one is the form. Are these two different items? No, these two are not two different items. These are if I ask the ultimate analysis, let's say the boys, where is the emptiness? They will say, this is emptiness. Yes, that's correct answer. I ask the girls, where's the flower? You say that this is a flower. So both of you are pointing to the same object for the two different reference, for the reference of two different labels. This is form, this is empty. Okay, so emptiness is not what the boy sees as emptiness is not different from what the girl sees as form. What the girl sees as form is not different from what the boy sees as emptiness. In other words, these two are describing the same object. These two are the two sides of the same coin. Likewise, now, okay, gallery. Now we go back to the self. Okay, first, the four essentials. The four essentials, first one is identifying the object of negation. Now I'm going to rush through, right? Okay, it's not going to be a passenger train, it's going to be express train, right? It's going to be very fast now. Okay, if you don't get things, don't worry. Don't worry. This is just like the quick flash of, say, the very brief, the flashes of the emptiness, and then is to tell us that we have to study more. Okay. First is identify object of the negation. When you speak about the emptiness, means emptiness of what? Emptiness of objective existence. What does it mean by objective existence? There's nothing existing from the object. Objects are there. Objects exist. They don't exist objectively, right? For object, there's nothing there. It's all coming from the subject. From object, there's nothing there. But we see it all from all as objective. That's true. That is deception. Objective existence that we see, this is how we are deceived. That is to be negated. We have to identify that. Identify the object of negation. We have to identify what is to be negated. What is for us to say that there's no thief, we have to first identify what the thief is. Likewise, to say that there's no objective existence, first we have to identify what objective existence is. Once we identify that, then we have to say that it does not exist. Okay, so what we see as a flower, look at this flower. How does this flower appear to you? As object real or as subject real? And of course, it appears as object real. That is deception. How is that? So what we do is that if it does exist objectively, you have to see this as you go closer to this object. Going closer to the object, we end up seeing the atoms. That's it. Where's the flower? The flower is nowhere to be seen. So what we see is the atoms. Atoms, are they the flower? The first atom, second atom, third atom. None of the atom is the flower. So which means you are seeing the emptiness of the flower being identified as one with the parts, one with the atoms. Atoms cannot be identified as the flower. That is the essential number 2. The essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects, the flowers being one with its parts, such as the atoms. Once you get it, if the atoms are not the flower, remove the atoms. It must be different from the atoms. Remove the atoms, nothing is there left as a flower. So the flower is not different from the atoms also. So that is the third essential. The essential understanding the emptiness of the objects being different from its parts. Once you know that, now from the object, what is there? Are there the atoms or no atoms? Atoms are not the flower. No atoms are also not the flower. So from the object, where there's a flower? From the object, there's nothing, there's a flower. This was known as the fourth one, essential understanding the perversion, that anything which is empty of being one with its parts and different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. So what is there from the object? It's not really there. So once you say that it's not really there, atoms, non-atoms, none of these, the flower. So where's the flower from the object? From the object, there's nothing to be identified as a flower. Once you get it, try to stay in this experience. Try to abide in this experience. You're getting it? Okay. So this a really very fast one. Okay. Oh, okay, we are checking on one more stanza. Okay, this is what the Buddha said, what the Buddha taught, King of Concentration Sutra. Say, all our excitements, all our fears of life, all what comes in our agitation, stress, anxiety, and so forth in our mind, excitements, including excitements, they're all what is happening in the dream. So just as in the dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Same, initially, there was the meeting taking place with so much of, excitement. And then soon after that followed within the same dream, so that the boy collapsed and died. Then there's with the first one, there's a tremendous excitement. With the second one, simply the excitement disappeared. And then the whole world seems to be shattered, and turned out to be so gloomy. So joyous was she at the meeting, and in anguish at his death, view all phenomena as thus. Meeting was a dream, separation also a dream. You realize this happens when you wake up. So wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is advice given by Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, so I stop here. And if you want to do a meditation on this, I'd like to give you a very simple tips, 5-point tips just now. Right, 5-point tips. If you want to meditate, if you're really fed up with the suffering of samsara, right? If you're really fed up with the suffering of samsara, It's very complicated. Sometimes it's very complicated. How things appear does not really exist, but it's very different. If this is what you feel, then we have to meditate on these 5 points. Okay, very quick. First, you just let us note down what these points are. Then I'll quickly explain them, how we can readily apply them in our practice. Okay, number one. Number one, the self. Number one, the self. The self. Number two, the 6 elements. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Number one, the self. Number two, the 6 elements. Number 3, 2 questions. Number 4, space like emptiness. Number 5, illusion like emptiness. Let me repeat this. Self, number 1. Number 2, 6 elements. Number 3, 2 questions. Number 4, space like emptiness. Number 5, illusion like emptiness. Okay, the first, so how to meditate on emptiness? And they say when you meditate on this, initially, for some of us, you may get a tinge of a fear. You may get a tinge of a fear. In some cases, say a tickling sensation can flow through the surface of your skin, or I'd say in some cases, like goosebumps come on the body. In some cases, a very tranquil experience can come, extremely peaceful experience can come to you. If these things can happen, you are very fortunate. But don't feel complacent. Don't feel complacent that, okay, I got emptiness. If this is what happens, you will get stuck there. You get stuck there, you will not progress any further. Don't feel complacent. If you get it, this is indication that you are the lighthouse hits its light on you. The light hits you from the lighthouse. This light is not your light, it's the light from the lighthouse. You're getting it? Okay, this is not your light, it's the light from the lighthouse. So, but it indicates that you are close by the land. You're going in the direction of the land. This is a good indication. So you have to study more. You have to put more effort to to sail or to drive. Give more effort so that you can reach the land. Okay. So for that matter, if these experiences happen, you are very fortunate. Practice it more, and then study more, reflect more on this, and then meditate more on this. And then if you really want to experience what emptiness is, this must be incorporated. This must accompany with the many other factors to accumulate merit. Merit accumulation is also very important. Okay, that is a separate the part to be explained. We don't have time. With this, the first what you do is that just sit yourself calm, and of course do the Refusion Bodhichitta stanza, and don't say when you do the meditation, you really need energy. You really need energy. Energy meaning that your mind must be very fresh, right? And sometimes what you do is that we spend so much of time reciting this book, this and this prayer, spend like 1 or 2 hours in recitation, you're already very tired. And then time for meditation. What are you going to meditate? You don't have energy left. Instead, where do you need more energy? Meditation or reading? Meditation requires more energy. So, if possible, do a little bit of reading or recitation like the Refuge, Bodhichitta, so forth, like, let's say, 4 or 5 minutes. And then do the meditation. After the completion of meditation, then you can do the remaining part of your sadhanas, like all the recitations, mantra chant, all these things you can do later. But if you do them in the beginning, you cannot do meditation, that's for sure. Okay, so with this, then you do a little bit of breathing meditation. Just focus your mind on the breath, empty your mind, not thinking about anything else. Just focus your mind on the breath. Just count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just do this for like 21 times, and you could feel that your mind is settling. Your mind is stilling, your mind is settling. Your mind becomes calm. Just empty your mind. Okay, after this, then think of the self. Okay, what is Dorji doing? What am I doing? I, this person. Once you get it, then go to point number 2, the 6 elements. Okay, I'm nothing but made of 6 elements. And there are some stanzas from this book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhicittas. I'm sure Jennifer already sent you the link to this book, right? This book you can have a free download. This is from Tibet House, and this is an incredibly precious compilation, and you will really be loved. It's so precious. So there are okay, according to the edition that I have is on page 208. Page 208. The title is Dependent Origination and Emptiness. So there are many of these stanzas there which we must memorize. Okay, to make it simple, the first the self, then the 6 elements. Okay, so like the way we subject the flower to ultimate analysis, we subject yourself to the ultimate analysis. You go into the self to see the 6 elements. And earth, the solid part, like the skeleton, the blood, the skeleton, the heart, lungs, flesh, the fatty tissues, all these solid parts. And earth, this is also not me. And water, the blood, element of fire, the body heat, element of air, the air with which we breathe in and out, element of space, element of consciousness. Just see these 6 elements, like the individual atoms of the flowers. None of these 6 elements is me, right? Just, okay, stay in this 6 elements. Ask the 2 questions. Point number 3. Okay, what are you seeing? I'm just seeing the 6 elements. This is actually, I say, the nature of the ultimate analysis. Where is the self? The self is empty. It's nowhere. Dorji is not there. It's empty. It's not nowhere there. Okay, once you're convinced with this, that the Dorji is not there, that I'm not there, besides these 6 elements, none of the, besides these 6 elements, there's nothing there as a self, as Dorji, right? Okay, once you get it, stay in this experience. That is number 4. That space like emptiness. That is like the space which has nothing to hold on to. You see that there's nothing to hold on to as a Dorji. It simply disappears like a space. Stay in this experience. Here, in this experience, number 4, you may get a tickling sensation. You may get a tinge of a fear. If a tinge of fear comes to you, you're very lucky. Don't stop your meditation. But if this fear is so overwhelming, then you can stop. Otherwise, don't stop it. Later on, this fear will be replaced by a very profound bliss and tranquility. Okay, stay in this experience that the self is not really there to be identified. It's like space. It's nowhere to be identified or hold on to. And then you try to come out of this meditation. You are absolutely sure that from the object there is no self there now. You come out of meditation, again the self appears, from the object is not there, from the subject the self appears, so therefore the self is mere appearance, like illusion. So be mindful that from the object the self is not really there. So the way the illusion comes, just a mere appearance, even this self is also like a mere appearance of dependent origination, right? Arise in this form, be mindful that I'm like the illusion like Dorji, illusion like I. This is known as the meditation on the illusion like emptiness. Okay, good. Okay, 1 or 2 questions before I hand over to Jennifer. Okay, Martha.
Geshe, you discussed in the section on how mere appearance is subjective, you used an example of someone who wants to kill themselves. And I didn't completely understand the details, and I was wondering if you could go over them again and specifically address the part if someone came to you and they were in that state. So even if it's a mere appearance, but they genuinely believe that appearance and then may act on it. So how would you change that appearance?
Okay, on the example that I gave is not meant to change the person right away. This is not for that purpose. You're getting it? Example that I gave is that this person, why this person they opted to commit suicide, is that there's a belief that if the subject which is responsible for all these experiences, if this subject is gone, all these experiences will become referenceless. No reference. If there's no reference, they will disappear. You're getting it? So like the tree, if the root is cut, all the leaves, they have the root as the basis. All these leaves will dry, right? This is what they think. Now, in actuality, similar to this, not identically, similar to this, if we see that the self is not really from the object, it's just from the subject, real relief comes to you, right? For that person, it's just more like nihilism. But the concept is very similar. The only thing is that it tilts towards nihilism. That if I disappear altogether, then my problems will be over. But for that person, the problem will not be over, because the self will continue to the next life. Problems will follow the person in the next life as well, right? But whereas for somebody to cognitively realize that a self does exist, but it does not exist objectively, then in your view, right? In your view, right? Let's say something which appears so objective, when you see that it's coming from the subject, your fear, anxiety dissolves. Say, had it been the case that the person who opted for suicide, if the person really realizes suddenly by magical, it will not happen. It will not happen. But if by magical power, suddenly his mind cognitively changes to see everything's like a dream, he will stop committing suicide. Okay, any more questions? Ryla?
Thank you. Geshe, you asked us to remind you of the 3 questions from Wednesday. Josephine, Martha, and me had these questions, and you said that we must ask them today because we are more matured to receive the answer.
Okay. Yes,
now.
yes.
Yes.
What's the question?
My question is that
what is it that you should remind me?
Josephine had one, Martha had one, and I had one.
Oh, so 3 different questions.
Yes. So
okay, what's your question?
My question is that I work for the environmental law in the international level, and how should I, if the fear of confrontation when speaking publicly, if this fear arises, how should I not freeze, or how to continue?
Okay, this is a good point. Okay, now you are, to some extent, you are matured. In fact, one time, there was one girl, and who happened to simply come in contact with Tibet House. And it so happened that Tibet House, we were given course on Heart Sutra, on emptiness. And the girl attended the 3-day course on Heart Sutra. She learned about emptiness. And then immediately after the course, she was going to have a very intimidating job interview. And the interviewers on a panel, they were very senior professors sitting there who this poor girl learned about their existence only through books. Now she's seeing them, right? So intimidating. So she said, never mind, they're all just atoms, right? So why should I be scared of the atoms? She thought about these 5 points. 5 points. And then she believed it or not, but she said instantly that fear dissolved. And she got the job. Okay, what is Mark's question?
Yeah.
Okay, Charu, you also have a question.
Yes. Lama Gisela, I have a philosophical question.
Yes.
And, when you were telling about that meditation, I felt I had already done it. It's a very strange feeling. Now, one thing I felt was that, when you meditate, the world disappears. This, what you call empty world, it completely disappears. Only the presence of your guru is there, at least for me.
No, you
And
did it. No, you did it before. You did it before in Ngari Gazeling in Assam.
yes,
Yeah,
maybe.
reminiscence of that is coming.
So there's only the presence of your guru at that time. And,
Okay.
even Guru Nanak said that the world is dreamlike, that this Maya,
That's amazing.
is a dream.
Yes, yes.
So I feel, that we have a concept of the divine self,
Mm.
Not just of this self which is part of the world, but of a divine self, which is everything and which is indescribable. It could be empty as well, So in Buddhism also, I believe there are two schools. There are schools that believe in the divine self, the Atman, and there are schools that negate it completely, totally. Am I right?
Okay, so basically, to be very technical,
Yeah.
usually for such talks like this, I avoid to be technical. I try not to be technical. To be very technical, Buddhism does not accept the concept of Atma. To be very technical, to be politically correct, Buddhism does not accept the concept of Atma, but Buddhism does accept the concept of self, the person. So that self which I indicated to you, which is the empirical self. I'm talking empirical. If you talk about the divine, I'm not a divine. Right? I'm not divine. And the problem that I have is related to this empirical self.
Mm-hmm.
Even if this divine self is there, but this is not creating problem on me. So what creates problem to me is related to seeing this empirical self as objective real. So that must be demolished. If I demolish this, my aspiration to resolve my miseries happen. Yeah. Okay, Mark.
Yes, Geshe-la, thank you.
Welcome.
Earlier you were talking about these two kinds of analyses, the ultimate.
Okay,
and
stick to your question. Stick to your early question. You're getting it? We have three questions. One is the Raila, that is done. Now, Mark, you have the second question?
Okay. So earlier you were talking about these two kinds of analyses, conventional and ultimate.
Is this the earlier question?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean earlier from the first session or earlier from
Yes,
today?
yes, first session.
Oh, I don't have from the
Okay,
first session.
the Raila, who are they? Who are the three people? Josephine, are you the one?
Geshe-la, my question was,
So
with
Mark, then I
COVID-19,
will ask you to ask me your question later. Yes, Josephine.
With COVID-19,
Yes.
I think people around cannot adjust to this fear, and they keep wanting to go out.
Yes.
I personally can stay at home, but I'm concerned that affecting a lot of people that keep wanting to go out. They multiply more and more. I mean, especially I'm living in the UK, and it's horrible now. I mean, it's everywhere. So how it disturbed my meditation as well. That I can't reach out to my friend, and some are. It's difficult. I mean, how do you spread out your to help them?
Yes. Okay, how to help them? This is your question.
Yeah, because it's the whole country is in a mess.
Yes. So you want, in other words, what you want is you want those people who, who cannot stay at home, who just feels like going out and then spread.
They're not following the rules. They're not following the rules.
You are not following the rules.
They are not
How
following
to
the
make
rules.
them-
Yes,
How to make them follow the rules? This is your question?
I can't help them following the rules.
No,
but
Is this your question to me?
yeah, yes.
Okay, I cannot also create the rules. We have to make a request to the UK government. What is that? The Prime Minister?
Boris Johnson.
Boris
Boris
Johnson?
Johnson.
Yeah, Boris
No,
Johnson.
but on our part as
yes.
Buddhists,
Send him a
how do
letter.
we? Yeah.
Send
How
him a
can we do
letter.
adjust?
Yeah, send him a letter. Please make sure that they put more fine on people who are going out.
Oh, that's possible in Singapore, but not here. They don't. I'm a Singaporean, but they don't allow that here.
No, you can ask Boris Johnson to make a law. Oh, I'm joking. The
doesn't
point is
work.
that
It doesn't work.
the point is that for you, there are two things that this disturbs my meditation. You're getting it? Finally, we can't expect to become Buddha in this very lifetime. If you can, that's wonderful. If you cannot, we have to plan for life after life. You're getting it? And in this life, even without COVID-19, I may die tomorrow. You're getting it? We can't blame everything to COVID-19, right? And so what we have to do, practically speaking, we have to make sure that our life, the healthy life that I have, with COVID or without COVID, right? I should make sure that this life does not go waste. Meaning today, tomorrow, and today we waste our today saying that, oh, these people, today is gone, right? And tomorrow again you blame, now more people are going, again tomorrow is gone. These people, they don't come to tell you that stop meditating, right? Your unskillfulness is stopping you to meditate. So tell yourself that what they are doing is their business, right? If you tell them they stop, well and good, and most likely they'll not stop. Even the government cannot stop them. How can I stop? Whereas you don't stop your meditation, tell yourself. At least I can tell myself not to stop my meditation. You stop ruminating over things which is beyond your control. Instead, do things which you can. So don't waste your time, do meditation. You're getting it? This is how we should be very practical, very realistic. Okay, I think yes, we'll stop here. I think.
Yes. Sorry. I just wanted to say on behalf of Root Institute, thank you so much, Geshe, for these amazing and profound teachings.
Meanwhile, keep in mind that we have to do a little bit of dedication as well in the end after your talk.
Sure. Okay,
yes.
Sure. So I'll try to keep it fast. Just to say thank you so much for these amazing and profound teachings. What's that?
Okay, Jennifer, you take your time. You don't have to be fast.
Okay. Thank you. We just wanted to say that on behalf of Root Institute and all the students, and really from my heart, these teachings are really incredible, and to make such profound teachings really accessible and interactive, and everybody felt very engaged and like we're really there in the room with you. So we appreciate that so much. And especially now at this challenging time, it's just to have the nectar of the Buddhist teachings is really invaluable, so precious. So thank you so much for that. And also thank you for all the team at Tibet House. I know they're working, maybe 12 hours today, so, and a lot of the time. So they've got a lot of invisible work that we're so grateful for hosting the meeting and for everything, really so precious. And all the team at Root Institute as well that we don't see, like Venerable Senla and Kabir Saxena and Annie, who answered all the emails. So there's so many people helping. It's really incredible. And just on so many levels, Geshe, we really felt your warmth and your compassion and your wisdom. And so please continue to teach, and please come back to Root Institute, hopefully next year on the ground. And please live a long time and stay healthy and continue to teach and to bring the teachings of the Dharma to all of us Westerners and Indians and everybody who you can benefit so much. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. And
on your behalf, everyone's behalf, I sneaked in with something.
Thank you.
And create a narrative offering to Geshe. And yeah, you please keep it this way. You have many examples.
Okay, Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Kabirji. And of course, we should thank Venerable Aniselala, the director of the Root Institute, who made the initial request several months ago, way ahead in time. She made the request, and I readily accepted, seeing how difficult it is to run a center. And then we have to we need to give each other some help, in whatever capacity that we can be of, help each other. And I really appreciate all the efforts Venerable Anisanala made for all of us coming together. Initially, she made the request, and this is how I'm very fortunate to have met all of you, and many of you I already know, but we are being separated by distance, and now we are seeing virtually here. And so I really wholeheartedly thank Venerable Tsanala, the director of the Root Institute, and Jennifer Coyne, Jennifer Coyne, and who did all the follow-up works after the request made by the director and with our Tibetans. And then the Jennifer so well said that all the staff members here at Tibet House, they're also there, and the staff of the Root Institute also there. I say I'm very grateful to all of you. And let's keep in mind that today, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he must live long. And when he's there, everybody, all these great teachers like Lama Subra Rinpoche and all the big teachers, my own teachers in many universities, they feel that the Buddha is there. And then as long as he's there, we feel that everything will flow in the natural course, where the Dharma will flourish. So therefore, it's so important for us to pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama lives long, and that His wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. And also that all these great teachers who inspire others to practice, to study, reflect, and meditate on bodhicitta, the unconditional love towards all the beings, aspiring to become enlightened for all beings, and a wisdom to see everything like a dream. So those teachers who inspire us are like Lama Subra Rinpoche, who, whenever he gives teachings, he inspires people to just study, reflect, and meditate on these two qualities, what drives us like two wings of the bird to cross the ocean of miseries to achieve the Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. And these teachers must live long. These teachers, their aspirations must be fulfilled. So let us pray that these things happen. And all the big monastic universities like Ganden, Sera, Depong, and the monastic institutions of Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelog, and all the traditions of Theravada, Chinese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, they all thrive in the activities of the serving the beings, in the activities of keeping the flame of the teachings of Buddha, the incredible great teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni's teachings alive for the benefit of all sentient beings. And let us pray that the COVID-19 subsides and that everybody will come back to normalcy. They can sigh, they can have the sigh of relief when the COVID-19 subsides completely. So may the teaching on bodhicitta, may the teaching of wisdom and emptiness flourish in the minds of all dear sentient beings today and in the future. So with that in mind, let's turn to the end prayer. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful cherished Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manchu, Shri, and Samadhi too realize things they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appear in the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhichitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, Until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. By the power of practicing and supplicating to you, may all be free from sickness, poverty, and conflicts, and may Dharma and the auspiciousness proliferate in all the places where we abide. The path of union of emptiness, compassion, is loosely explained by the protector Buddha, Dharma, and the beings of the land of snows. You, the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso, we supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces, humans or non-humans, who hereby manage to perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajratara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings of dependent origins in particular, even across my life. Or your hearts to the mantra 3 times. Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Geshe-la. Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank
Thank you so much,
you.
Geshe-la.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to appreciate. Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Stay healthy.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer and the team.
Thank you, Jennifer, as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Institute. Thank you, TB House.
Bye.